New York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
Yeah, it's time to hit the gunshots, fellas. It's time. Let's go. Let's go. The Knicks win.
21 points. Not just a win, a decisive win.
Decisive. 102-81. Knicks dismantle the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Immanuel Quickley, 25 points, 3 assists. RJ Barret is in the bag, looking super reliable. We
24 points.
What?
Yo.
What? I've never been so hyped to be like a really good, like right under mediocre team. I've never been so happy.
9-11, baby. 9-11 feels like 18-2 or something.
It does.
Right. You know what I mean? It's, I think the thing that I really like about these young guys is their consistent dedication to defense. They have lapses, but you can see they're getting after it. Quickly, I love his motor, man.
Mm-hmm.
RJ is becoming super reliable now. Like when we actually need a bucket and, your man Randle's having a rough night, he's money.
Right. Now hold that thought, because I'm gonna do the official intro. What's going on? This is Ellis for the Nick of Time Show. Here give you that Knicks talk just in a nick of time, and you should recognize these gentlemen already. One is our guy from back in the day. He's coming back slowly. I see you, Edson. The blue check is coming, so he's been busy. But if you don't know this man, this guy is Edson Sean. He's done songs with Redman. He's doing some music on the side, and he's back to give us some Knicks talk and celebrate this Knicks win.
Yes.
And here's my other guy. You already know. Terry was probably the only guy from Knicks Twitter to actually sit down with us in the same room, besides CK2K.
Pre-COVID times, man.
Yes.
Pre-COVID. But we out here, Knicks winning. It's a beautiful thing. Yes. 2021 starting off right.
Yes.
Let's get it.
Exactly. My guy from Terry Trey. You gotta say, I salute to you, dog. Salute to you. He's always down to rock with us, man.
Of course, always.
All right. So I don't know, man. Where do we start? We can start with the obvious. Immanuel Quickley is the point guard. We can start with that, right?
Yes.
The point guard. I'm watching just to kick it off. I'm watching the game last night. Mm-hmm. And, we watch these games, we want to analyze it, have some deep thoughts about what's going on. But quickly just reminding you what it's like to just be a fan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I'm watching the fourth quarter and he's running up. The intro to our post game that we did last night. Check it out. Shameless plug. Terry and Trey on YouTube.
Definitely check it out.
It's me. I'm going ham and I throw my hat. Because it was the end of the quarter, right? When Obi got the rebound and he came up. Because at that point, he had a couple, I think he had a dunker ready. And I love heat checks, right? You see the guy coming down, you're like, no, give him the ball. Do it.
Hot. Yeah.
Exactly, right? But let's be real. A lot of the time, it's a bad shot. It's not going to go in. I'm watching quickly and I'm like, I'm already hyping him up. I'm like, bang, it's in. It's in before it goes in. Like, being real though, like 60% expecting it to be a brick. My guy hits it. And then, it was pandemonium. Yeah. I tweeted out, I said, this can't be real. That's what it felt like. I'm like, this doesn't feel real right now. It's like we're watching Steph Curry or Damian Lillard back when they first came in the league and they were, they were showing signs rookie years of being something crazy. Quickly looking like that.
It's exactly like that. Like, when's the last time we had a guy who can hit threes consistently on this team and be like a young guy and not be like some old fat on one leg? You're just in to shoot the three and go back out. And we haven't had that in so long. And now we have a guy on this team who I fully expect to knock down like 4 or 5 threes every now and again. And I fully expect him to take over a lot more games than today. Right? Like, it's going to happen. Like,
he's getting way more comfortable. That's the thing. New York fans are rough, man. He starts out rough. Oh, why did we get this guy? And shout out to all of the teams and all the people that thought he was going to get drafted lower and that he's not a point guard. Great. Thank you. Because I'm really happy with Quickley. I'm impressed with his progression already. And like you said, he really does remind you of what it is to just be a fan. Because he's out there having fun. And that's why I think the game is starting to slow down and come to him a little easier.
Yeah, and also too, it's like Tom. I know.
Exactly.
I know, Tom, that you don't really like rookies and you don't like starting, but my guy, give this a look. Give this a real look, okay?
Yes.
Because Elfrid Payton could never do anything close to this, and I respect Elfrid Payton as a vet, and he says.
You're trying so hard, bro.
Listen, let's be real. He's been underperforming lately. He's been underperforming a little bit lately.
I've been pissed. I've been pissed. I'm not gonna lie.
He's been bad. Yeah, he's been bad a couple of games in a row. The thing is with the whole Elf situation, just in general, we get back to quickly. Let me just touch on Elf real quick. Is that he was never as bad as a lot of us, as a lot of the kind of vitriol online. The thing with Elf, and I've said this, for Elfrid, the problem with him more than anything is that his skill set is so opposite of what we need.
Yeah.
If Elfrid was the same, let's say Elfrid is a C+ B- guy in the league, right? If that's his level. If he was a C+ B- shooter at the point guard position, it'd be a different story.
Yeah.
The problem is he's a C+ B- guy who can't shoot, can't space the floor, gets tunnel vision. I think he sees people talking about his shooting, so he feels he's got to shoot more.
No,
bro, that's not what we're saying.
What's the passing part of your game? Where did it go?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
pass to someone who can shoot.
Exactly. So it's he's been really rough to watch, but at least the last few games, quickly the minutes have been pretty even. Quickly's closing, but you think of this team, right? The jump we can make again, and whether Quickly starting or what, when Elfrid Payton's not playing, and now it's Quickly and another solid guard, right? The whole team's play can be elevated so much. This is more long term for the future band, but this season and what we've seen so far, it's nothing but exciting because you're seeing paths, you're seeing the road blockages are moving away. Things are looking and I'm like, now you got 10 paths you can go, and it's not 10 paths to destruction.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's 10 paths to Zion.
Exactly.
That's
Zion. Not that Zion. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing this season, man. It's so good to see it just playing consistent, hard, solid basketball, both ends of the court. And we're in every game. We're in every game. I love
it. And you know what? And I think Tom is starting to change his mind slowly, because what I used to see is Elfrid Payton play until the 2-minute mark in the first, or the entire first.
And
then they'll put Quickley in the second. Last game, okay, the Knicks were getting mollywopped, right? We was getting straight up mollywopped. We were down by like 10 or so. RJ Barret came in and Julius Randle came in. They started to push the pace more in transition. We started climbing ourselves back in this game. But I also saw that Tom Thibodeau inserted Immanuel Quickley a little bit earlier than usual, around like 5 to 6 minute mark. And he wasn't doing that before. So I feel like he's a stubborn old guy, Tom. Love him though, because he's playing better. But he's starting to get it, right? He's kind of starting to get it.
Exactly.
He just needs to make the entire switch over. He needs to update his software,
But I mean, he's been hinting at knowing that even when we were courting him, he knew that he needed to change in this new NBA. He had to, and I think I'm gonna give him kudos for not being as reluctant, you know what I'm saying? Like the fact that he's putting Quickley in earlier. Maybe he might start him soon. I don't know.
He's forcing them though. We will see. Time will tell. I also want to talk about RJ Barret though, because RJ Barret is point to it.
I got Kevin Knox here. Shout out to Kevin Knox, but I'm gonna have to update this shirt with RJ.
Word. Yes, no, definitely. Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Kev, but RJ, man.
Shout out to the NBA Jam though. I like that.
Nah, but look, RJ also, fans are funny, man, because he was dead in the water about a week ago, right? Like about a week and a half ago. He was like he was dead in the water. Fans was like, "Ooh, this is a bum. We made a mistake." All of a sudden, he runs off multiple 19, 20-point performance. Consistency. And even the last game, 24 points from the field, 40% from three. He's still showing that he can, make some good decisions. Seems like to be the only guy on the team willing to lob the ball to Mitch.
Right.
That's funny. I keep been trying too. But the funny thing about the whole RJ thing, right, is like RJ, started off the season, kind of back and forth, but you could see that he made a jump. You could see that he wasn't the same guy as last year, right? Mm-hmm. I went away. I saw like 1 or 2 games. I think I missed 4 games in general. I definitely saw one, and then the others I kind of caught up on highlights.
Okay.
Like, 3 of those games, RJ apparently was like atrocious.
Oh, he was horrible.
Like, come back to New York, right? And like, I didn't want to be into the whole Knicks thing the whole time I was away. Like, I'm gonna come back and get into everything. By the way, as I land, the Harden trade happens. But
welcome to New York,
right? I go on Twitter and I see what was going on with RJ and the way people were talking about him. And it's even crazier for me because, like I said, I wasn't there during the game. So
you only came back during the uptick because it happened around the Brooklyn game is when he started to turn around. It was like that time.
Exactly. So I missed like the poor shooting from 3, all that stuff. But obviously, like, we know RJ, so we could see where he could have. If you told me RJ had a bad game, in my head I could imagine it. So I'm trying to catch up. But I'm like, yo, this is going too far. People are going in on RJ talking about G League, etc.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he shut those people up, man. It's consistency, Gerald. You hit it on the head. The consistency, man. He's coming out every game. Even if it's IQ is going off or Randle's going off, RJ's making sure he's still doing his thing.
Exactly.
It's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see.
And across the board, even his rebounding has vastly improved.
Yeah.
I'm like, because we need that guard rebounding, especially, we had a good night. It was like, 35% or 37% we shot from 3. Mm-hmm. It's not always like that. So we need that. We need those guard rebounds when we're bricking from 3. So. Yeah,
exactly. So, man, RJ Barret, critical parts of this game as well. Seems like to be the only guy who's willing to run in transition. For me, the defense is picked up. And for real, like he's taking a step, man. I love what I'm seeing from RJ Barret. But what about not Immanuel? What about Austin Rivers, man?
Yo,
Manuel's always on the mind. I'm sorry. What about Austin Rivers?
I'm like, yo, we can talk about IQ again.
Do you want to talk about IQ again?
IQ's basketball IQ is high right now.
Yo, the floaters from IQ.
Listen.
The fake Jamal Crawford 3-point blade that they took away, but he's like, you know what? I'm gonna do it again.
You know what's funny? That's who he kind of reminds me of. Jamal Crawford. Yeah, I didn't even make that connection.
That's a good one. Yeah,
that's who he reminds me of. But
he's got that bounce.
Yes,
like, bringing up J. Craw, like from the jump with IQ. We're going to get into Austin Rivers real quick with IQ. When you look, I remember even like the first time we saw preseason or whatever, his vibe, his bounce just gave you this confident but not cocky, not where it's going to be a problem, right? Yeah. He had this like positivity about him, man. Like, he's playing the game and he's playing hard. Mm-hmm. He's not going to be a punk. You're not going to punk him.
He's not going to punk IQ.
He's talking back. I tweeted out, I said, that's not very Christian. IQ. But like, he's got that swag. He got swag. It's really swagger. Before people took the word swag and ruined it, he really got that swag about him where it's like, I'm about my business. I'm a friendly guy. We're going to do the right thing, but you're not going to mess with me and my team. I'm going to get buckets when I need to. It feels, he's the total package for New York, man. And when the Garden gets back and these fans,
man.
He's going to heat up even more, man.
Yo, it's funny because you're absolutely right about that. And when he first got into the league, not even the league, I saw it in preseason. When homie came in preseason and was dribbling up the ball and he was doing this, like he was pointing like, you, here, you,
confident,
here. And he's like doing it to vets. And this is your first NBA game ever. And I'm like, who is this kid? Like, I know who he was because I did my homework and, I did my research, drafted it, and talked about it. But I'm just like, the audacity.
Right. Listen.
To tell Randle to go over there.
That's it. But that's what we need. That's what we need. And I think, honestly, vets respect that. If you crumble, and then they take the ball and you never get it back. But the fact that his first game out the gate, he started with that approach, that's really why they respect him. And again, his confidence is a quiet confidence. He comes out there, even when he's like 0 for 10, he's not going to stop.
Nah.
And he's not going to get down on himself. Which
it's the same thing that RJ has. They both kind of have that. The short memory thing. The next shot is going up, is going in, whether it goes in or not. Whether it goes in or not. But the thing is, when he gets hot, it really goes in. He starts shooting 62%. How many 20-point games does he have already as a rookie? Like, can we seriously start talking about rookie of the year contention? Is it just me being a homer?
Nah. It's not. Listen, I think people remember that year Melo got second in MVP, right? 2013, where LeBron almost got unanimous, right? Yeah. And people to this day are pissed that LeBron didn't get unanimous because LeBron, that was like the best year of his career. He was insane that year. But I always say, you got the Knicks who have been the Knicks for a while now. You know what I mean? 20 years of being the Knicks. A guy like Melo taking that team to second seed, that means more. So I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
Q coming in, potentially being, think about it. He might have been the fourth string point guard technically coming into the season, right? Because you had Alfred, who was always in ahead of him. The Knicks were pushing DSJ, and Frank was probably maybe the third string guy, right?
Right.
So you got, technically, IQ was the fourth guy. Maybe he's got to work his way in. Dennis and Frank both played before IQ. You know what I mean? IQ got, I think he was a little banged up for the first game or whatever. So IQ comes in, and he not only plays well, he wins the spot. The Knicks are a good team. He's a big part of it. He's one of the most important players on the team as a rookie at the hardest position in the league. He's efficient. Most point guards, rookie point guards aren't efficient. He doesn't, I mean, he got to keep it up. We got a long way to go, but man, he's been a breath of fresh air. It's exactly what we needed as a franchise. And like, it feels like finally, man, we got one of them ones.
Finally.
Yes,
we got a steal.
Right.
We got a steal, man. Like I kind of felt that way with Mitch when we got him in the second round. Yeah. And I really feel that way with IQ. I really like, holy cow, we caught one. We actually caught the...
Right, finally.
Yeah, next year, do you know who went under the radar? Can you believe 25 people passed up on this kid? Like, we got one.
It's incredible, man. And we haven't even seen Obi be Obi yet, or what Obi can possibly do. So
yes, exactly.
It's gravy right now. It's crazy.
Speaking of Obi, he had like a nice little showing today. He didn't do a lot, but he had like a nice little stretch where he hit a three. I like the head fake. And drive with a nice lay-in over the big man. Why am I forgetting his name at this second? On the Cavs.
Drummond?
Andre Drummond. Yeah. Yeah, he had a nice little stretch today. What do you think of the Obi game, man? I mean, I know there's not that much to talk about from Obi.
I think he's showing signs of what people are looking from him. I think he just needs to get comfortable. He's showing signs. Is definitely athletic. But definitely would like to see some more. Because he had like 5 points.
Yeah, 5 and 3, I think. Yeah.
So I'd like to see a little more activity from him. But I've seen signs that he can be potentially a pivotal piece, even just off the bench for the Knicks.
Yeah.
I think people are kind of I wouldn't say disappointed in Obi at all, not him, but I think disappointed in how it's turned out so far.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Because Obi was the old rookie, right? So the whole point of Obi was like, we're gonna get this guy it's not gonna be like Knox and Frank got rookie. Gonna be hit the ground running. And I have to admit, there are times I watch Obi and I'm like, he definitely needs some time because you could see him kind of running around sometimes, a little unsure.
Exactly.
Though, even though he's unsure, he always gives you the vibe that he wants it. He wants the pressure. He's in the post sometimes, and I'm like, what is Obi about to do in the post? I'm like, it's not gonna be good.
Yeah. But I'm like, I keep joking.
What you got to do, bro?
I keep joking he's skipping leg day and he can't post point guard.
Oh, he can't. Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. But I'm like, you know what? I like that you're in there. You're trying some stuff. He just gotta, I think for him, it's a different role, right? He's coming off the bench now. He's got to he's coming off the bench for the Knicks. So he's got to figure out how to fit in, how to be with the bench unit, how to pick his spots, right? Yes. And like you said, honestly, he's getting comfortable. It's still only a couple games back for him. The season's long. We got like 50-something games left, maybe 50 games left. So for Obi, it's about kind of getting his role down and then taking those steps forward. That's what I want to see. Yes. I think he's going to get that. I think defense will definitely be a work in progress. But man, he could not be around a better group of guys and a better coaching staff right now than what we are this season to work on his defense. I think he's going to improve enough on that end where he's hopefully like serviceable and not killing you out there. But Obi is interesting just because Quickley has killed it. Obi's kind of been to the side, but less pressure on him too, man. So we got to see how things pan out. But I'm confident in Obi long term, but I will say this rookie season, what we might have hoped, maybe not going to happen simply because of how Randle's playing and like how the team is set up. This could be a learning year for Obi, more so than like a production year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. And the way he's playing, the way Randle is playing too, because he had a decent game today, even though he didn't. I like that Randle didn't force anything today. You looked and he's like, oh, Randle's having a bad game in the first half. I was like, no, not necessarily. I just think he just passed up his shots to the other guys going. I don't think that's necessarily a bad game because he can get those when he wants to. Yeah. And that's something we didn't even see last year.
That's the maturity, I think, of his game now. Yeah, it's definitely the maturity. Like, before, he would just force it. He would force the issue. But now, he's picking his spots better, And when the game is not coming to him, he gets everybody else involved. That's why like when they say he had a bad game, I'm like, really? He was getting everybody else involved.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
people are used to, I guess, a certain production from him that we've seen consistently this season. And when he doesn't have that, it's like, oh, well, he's having a bad game.
16,
No,
8,
he's playing
and
ball.
8 and 6 assists.
Yeah.
Yeah, like listen, the thing,
And 6 assists counts for 12 points at least.
exactly, maybe more, right? He probably hit a couple.
At
Yeah,
least, you know?
And the block.
And the block, and the block.
yeah. He finding things.
And the
Like
block. Exactly.
Yeah, listen, the thing is with Julius, man, and we sing his praises. Last year, right? I think we were all annoyed with Randle, and what would actually annoy me more was people defending his play based on his stats. They're like, "Oh man, look, it's 20 and 10. He's so good." I'm like, watch the games. Like 20 and 10
Exactly.
could be way worse than 15, 5 and 5 if it depends, right?
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo last year, I think was 15 and 5. If you told anybody in the NBA that Randle's 22 and 8 or 9 or whatever he was better than
No.
Bam Adebayo is 15 and 5, they'd be like, you're crazy. This year, however, Randle's bad games, his quote unquote bad games, now it's him playing more defense. Now it's him moving the ball. Now it's him not first in it.
We're actually better defensively when he's on the floor, which is something we couldn't say last year.
Insane. Right. He's getting after it. You can see Randle's like effort level now. And I think it's trust too, man. It's like he trusts the guys on the team more. He trusts them to make shots. He trusts them to make things happen. RJ step forward. I've been loving the dynamic. It's funny. I've been on record talking about how much I think they cannot play together.
Whoa. It's so
I will tell you
changed.
right now, they have figured it out.
Holy
And even
cow.
when it comes to like RJ taking a step forward and Randle stepping back, like we've seen the past few games that he brought up, Gerald, I love it.
Yeah.
RJ's taking the lead when he needs to when Randle can't get it going. Randle's not pressed about it. He's making it happen. They had that nice little when RJ like dished it off to Randle right by the rim yesterday. The synergy, man, good. Winning cures everything. Winning fixes everything, man.
Yo, there was even another play yesterday that I saw. It was like RJ and Randle kept passing the ball back and forth to each other because I feel like they both were trying to like fix the spacing on the fly.
Right.
It was like, wait, I think the double's coming. So RJ would patch it to Randle. Randle would dribble. And it's like, I don't have the space. Pass it back to RJ. And then RJ would back up. It's like, okay, let me dribble, see if I can pound my note. Oh, we pass it back to Randle. Randle gets the ball and RJ's man starts to cheat a little bit. And then Randle just instinctively passes right back to RJ as he's moving, and he goes to the hole, and he doesn't score, but I think he gets fouled. And I'm just like, I'm watching this going,
it's a great dynamic.
this would have never happened last year. Like the synergy, the willingness to give the ball up to each other. I remember RJ Barret clapping in the corner, give me the ball.
Right, no. But you know what it is? It really is like figuring out there is no map. It's like an art to it. Matter of fact, now's actually a good time. So I found this card. Seth Godin is the author, and he says the reason art is valuable is precisely why I can't tell you how to do it. If there was a map, there'd be no art, because art is the act of navigating without a map. And I feel like for so long, winning, we could even just plug in winning for art, right? And the art of winning has eluded and evaded the Knicks for I don't even know how long at this point. It just feels like they've never won, right? Which we know is not the case, but it just feels like that. But now I think, again, sometimes it's shifting players, bringing somebody back. You brought back, a coach that actually worked well with the Knicks before, and it's just the right pieces and the right mentality and the right environment. I talk about building culture. Like, I really feel like they're genuinely, and they've been doing it since last season, genuinely building a culture now with these young guys. And now they have a defensive-minded coach as well, who's and the coaching staff. I think right now the Knicks are in a great spot to actually give us something to cheer about, because they already have. At this point, I'm ecstatic right now.
Yeah, man. Leon Rose is an artist, man. That's all I can say.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, exactly.
He's an artist.
It's all about art, man. And they're figuring it out. They're figuring it out without a map, bro.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I love like kind of bringing up that point and what you just brought up, Jay Ellis, about RJ and Randle like figuring out on the fly. What it feels like now is now they have like a general idea, even if the individual pieces don't fit perfectly for us to be a really good team. They now have an idea of what good basketball looks like and how it works.
Yes.
That to me is like the most amazing thing. Last year, right? Randle and RJ in that same situation, one of them might force it, right? Now even though both of them aren't really good at spacing the floor, they understand that spacing as a concept needs to happen.
Right.
It needs to work. Right. It's not even about it's not even about hitting the shot sometimes. It's about literally creating space.
Exactly.
So like you can see now, man, you look across the team, even Kevin Knox, right? And Kevin Knox, we'll talk about him as well. He's been that good past few games, but overall this season, they're keeping it simple, hitting those threes. Even the fact that Kevin Knox found himself in the corner, knowing where to be and hitting the shot, to me, that simple thing to me is showing at least some basic conceptual understanding of like, all right, these are things that need to happen for us to win games, right? We're going to get this down, and then let's start building. Let's start adding after that. But like,
even the idea of because, we all know that, they had a great shooting night the other night, but we all know the Knicks aren't great long distance shooters. So they're going to get zoned up.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
the idea and the concept of, I got to attack the middle of the zone because that's the weak part of the zone. They're even starting to do that consistently. Like, okay, we are not hitting these outside shots. We got to attack the middle. Attacking the middle,
But it also helps that Austin Rivers had a good game today because the guys who we brought in to hit shots are starting to hit shots. That also helps, right? Because Austin Rivers and RJ Barret were kind of the catalyst to bring that Knicks team from the Dodgers into to a winning team. Like by halftime, the defense was always there. We held them to 33 points by halftime.
Yes.
Halftime.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But like the shooting of Rivers, the shooting of Quickley, it brought us there. And when you see that we're getting production from Julius, Randle, and RJ Barrett consistently, we're going to need an Alec Burks and Austin Rivers or Immanuel Quickley to get hot from the outside to keep the defense off to win these games. Because, the Cavs tried it, and they tried that zone. They tried the zone again like everybody else does, and it worked a little bit. And even sometimes the first unit too, because they started to chip away at the lead with Elfrid Payton and those guys, and when the spacing wasn't right. But shout out to Tom. He's able to pull the right strings. He had RJ Barrett running with Austin Rivers and Quickley for a second when he got going, and he also brought in Quickley earlier in the second half, and we were able to overcome that, man. So. Yeah. Cool, yeah, man. I'm happy. I'm happy, man.
It's good.
Beautiful game.
Beautiful. It's just good. We've taken a step forward as a franchise. It's funny, right? It's been 20 games, I think, right? So we're 9-11. So in that period, it's good too. It's a good point to look back at things, right? It's a little bit less than a third into the season.
Exactly.
And it's enough time where you're like, all right, there's something here. It's consistent, right? It's the team looking. I always said, man, as much as and I'm all for, building through the draft and building with the kids, but we are in New York City. Big market teams usually don't have to do this only because if you're just good enough, stuff's going to happen, right? The Heat have been doing this forever. And I've always said the Miami Heat, curse the Miami Heat because of the 90s. It feels weird. It's so weird to praise them now, but still, the Miami Heat to me have been what I want the Knicks to be.
Yeah,
absolutely.
People want to go there because they know it's going to be strict. Mm-hmm. It's going to be, it's going to be a culture that's consistent. Right. Players who are struggling go there, get better, get in shape. Think shape for them when you go there.
Right.
Yes.
I'm like, in a weird way, that's kind of what I think we've been trying to get to.
Yeah.
We've been trying to reclaim these projects for years now. Didn't really work perfectly for some guys, but I think now you're seeing we're going to have a team where it's a serious culture. We're about winning. We're about defense.
Yeah.
We're drafting. Where we're doing our work. We got guys in there doing extra work, making sure we get the right pick at the top, right pick at the bottom. We got Leon and Brock pulling the strings from behind. Like the mafia. Exactly. Listen, Pat Riley doesn't hesitate. He loves his guys and he'll trade them the second he can.
Trade him for his mom.
Winslow. Remember, Winslow was balling out from Miami. They were able to make a trade happen. I think the Iggy trade, and they did it. So I'm like, this team now, especially being in New York City, people want to come here. All we needed to do all these years was show that we were a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
So I'm not saying this to advocate. I know we're going to talk about some trades and stuff. I'm
going to transition right into that since you're bringing us there anyway.
Well, I'm going to say this. It's not to say we need these guys. We got to get someone. But my thing is, as a basketball franchise, you want to be in this position. You want to have a market that people care about. You got young players that people are interested in. You got picks. You got cap space. You could now create your own adventure.
There's options. Exactly. We have multiple paths to success. Multiple paths to success, which is why, when people start talking about like, oh, we're in trouble because we have Julius Randle and we have Obi Toppin. This is bad. It's not necessarily bad that we have two guys who have talent. You know, having more talent is not a bad thing
at all.
Yeah. So it's cool that Randle is overachieving to your expectations at this point. It's fine. It's a good thing, right? Because it gives us more options. And speaking of options,
yes,
there have been trade rumors to hit these streets right now. Bradley Beal has been on the top of a lot of Knicks fans' minds, right? Because you see what's happening over there in Washington. Thank God we didn't trade for Westbrook. Thank God. We see what's happening up there in Washington, and Bradley Beal is going off. I think he's averaging 35 points a game, which is freaking insane.
4.7, yep.
Yeah, he's been thug life. I'm rocking for Washington Wizards till the day I die for all this time. But he seems miserable. He seems absolutely miserable right now. So there's a lot of speculation that teams might try to pick Bradley Beal away from the Washington Wizards. Now the question is it time for us to do it, or is it a move the Knicks should do? You know, considering where we are at this point, you know, we're starting to get things together. We have a few assets. We have a few first round picks this year's. The Dallas pick, which could be Cade, you know. Another Dallas pick from 2023. We have some assets. Our highest assets might be what Julius, IQ as of now.
Right.
Like
it's a lot to think about. Wait, real quick, guys. I just got breaking news here that DSJ has requested to play in the G League, which actually yeah. Bondi just tweeted. I actually respect that because honestly, like, what's gonna happen to him in this season at this point? He's not gonna play. So,
listen, he doesn't want to sit there and become a statue and get rusty. Like, I think it's a good move, man. And to just again, the thing I like about this team again, I just feel like their whole culture's just matured because for him to even request that, like, I think that speaks volumes, man.
I just gained a lot of respect for that man.
Wow. That's big.
Wow.
That's big. I mean, you know, humblings happen, man. I think he's definitely gone through a humbling in the line. He had a lot going on too. But to the trades.
Yes.
Time. I'd say this. I think these things should be spoken about because I think we're so used to it being the other way, right? Where we're chasing something that we didn't earn, right?
Yeah.
Not to say you have to earn it to get it in the NBA. You see bad teams get lucky all the time. But it almost feels like the Knicks are doing the Knicks thing, right? It's like, oh, we're going to get this guy. We're going to get this guy. Now it's a different situation to me. It's only 20 games. Yes, we got to see more. But now if the Knicks are a good team, right? You don't make that jump from good to great unless you do something.
Yeah, you have to make the move. You have to know when to make the move too.
Exactly. You're not going to draft, you know, few teams. The Warriors are one of the few teams that just drafted the same guys that just became the whole core.
Right.
The truth is, and I've been saying this because you cannot re-sign Knox,
everybody,
RJ, IQ. You're not going to re-sign everyone. So the truth is, some of these guys probably get packaged. You got to pick your main guys, your main 2, 3, and move things around. Deep inside, I feel like it's too soon. Now, some of these players, right? It's like it is too soon, but like, damn, when is Bradley Beal going to be available again? So you kind of get it, kind of get it. But I would say this: I feel like honestly, I want to see them get to the deadline, make a couple moves. Nothing big, but moves to make it. Like, I think we're looking like we're gonna be at least a playing team. So I'd like to see some moves to solidify our shooting going into, if you know, because at this point we're pushing. We're not gonna be selling off assets. It look like
right.
So if we're pushing, make a couple of smart moves. Maybe get another shooter or two in here.
Yeah,
you have a good showing in the playoffs if you get there, whatever.
Yeah, maybe try for JJ Redick or something because I heard he's available. Maybe you do something that.
That's up there with Lonzo at the Pelicans. So a lot of things there. But I would say get through this season, right? Make a couple trades. Get to the offseason. Now you got a full open fee. You can do whatever you want. You got a bunch of these contracts coming off the books, right? Yeah. Even guys like DSJ and Frank won't really matter anymore because they're kind of, you know, I mean, I don't know if you're going to get anything for them anyway. But you have so much options. You have the 2 picks and the one in the second round that's like number 31. Mm-hmm. I think in the offseason, you want to strike, then go do something. And then you get the whole offseason to build together. But I don't know, because the thing is, I trust Leon and Brock. This is the thing. I trust them. So if they do a move that I don't agree with, deep inside they'd be like,
maybe they're right.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe.
So they know something that we don't. Yeah.
All right,
It's not Steve Mills. This ain't Steve Mills anymore, man.
So
Right.
yeah. So what you're saying is, and I kind of actually, what you're saying is, you feel like it's too soon to trade for a player like Bradley Beal because we don't have the assets yet to make such a move. Is what you're saying?
I think we have the assets, to be honest, because I think we do. If you just told them right now, you get Mitch, you get Randle, you get IQ, you get the Dallas pick this year, you get our pick this year.
Okay.
I don't want to do this.
You know what?
Saying,
Let me rephrase that. We technically have the assets.
Right.
Yeah.
But do we want to come off of them?
What is left?
Right.
You trade away Randle, IQ, Mitch, Dallas picks, and then Bradley Beal is looking in the. What's that? I saw somebody post this GIF on Twitter when Will Smith is looking around the apartment by himself. It's like where is everybody? Like everybody, it'll be like that situation. Bradley Beal, will he just here by himself? And he'll be miserable here too because there'll be nobody to play with.
Right. We don't need that.
And
we don't need that.
That's not what we need either. So I kind of agree with you.
I also think it's too early. I do think the fact that we're even having this conversation, I think is great because it shows where we are as a franchise. But I think somebody at Bradley Beal's caliber, I do think we need to let this season go. Off season, let's reevaluate, because we definitely got to shore up the shooting. We definitely don't want it to be a situation where we give everybody away and Bradley Beal is playing here with Tom, Dick, and Harry. We want him to have something here, and we want to be able to continue the progression upwards as opposed to going back and starting from scratch again. So
yeah. No, I feel you about that. Absolutely. I did hear you say, I wanted to circle back. I did hear you say something very interesting. I feel like you've been talking to CK lately. You said you would like Lonzo Ball on the team. You're a proponent of Lonzo Ball to the Knicks.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm not a huge, crazy Lonzo guy. And the truth is, the way IQ's playing,
right?
It's like, you can't you don't want to put anybody in front of him, at least this season, right? Like, let's if IQ is a top 3 rookie of the year candidate, what franchise then takes that guy and says, you're the 6th man now, we got another point guard? Like, it actually doesn't make sense. It would make sense, to be honest, if IQ kills this year and finishes like this, then you now get a very solid backup that can shoot, right? What if you got, Mike Conley won't want to take this step back and you probably play with the Jazz. Stay with the Jazz. But imagine getting a guy, a veteran guy.
Man, I'll take Mike Conley just so he doesn't have to guard Immanuel Quickley.
I know.
He kills him.
Go over here and just sit on the bench.
He kills Quickley every time.
He kills him. I know, but I'm just thinking of the scenario, right? IQ can play off ball as well. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the point guards in this upcoming draft and what we may be able to do with the Dallas pick, putting the picks together, I'm really a big fan of putting those 2 picks together and moving up. By the way, especially if we finish this year, right, with this core of let's just say, Randle, Mitch, maybe Knox keeps killing it, RJ Quickley, those guys are all looking solid going forward. You don't need 2 more rookies if you can get an elite rookie. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, it's an Obi. I didn't bring up Obi. It's like a give and take. So to me, I'm like, don't get me wrong. It'd be cool to add another 2 B+ level prospects, but if you could package that and get like an A- guy at the top,
I'll be down for that. But I'm just wondering if anybody's stupid enough to do that in this year's draft.
It's a thing.
I don't know if anybody's stupid enough to do that.
Listen, teams passed on IQ, so
that's very true.
Everybody knows this year's the draft, right? Because
this is the draft.
Because you looking on Mavs watch, you looking at the Mavs and they tanking, right? Like we might be able to make the playoffs or play in and still get Cade with no sweat off our backs if they continue to play.
We deserve that. I always say, if that happens to the Knicks, if we actually make the playoffs or the playing games, play some decent basketball or whatever, and we end up getting a top 5 pick because of the map, I'm like, that's the luck we deserve.
That is what we need.
Absolutely.
Gunshots.
Absolutely. We definitely at this point we definitely deserve that.
Oh my God. Oh, you got me too hyped right now. Okay, but all right. I see where you go. I see what you're going.
So let me give you one last thing just on the trade stuff. I don't know if you want to talk about Lavine as well.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Lavine as well. Yeah.
I think the biggest thing when it comes to like the timing is it's 20 games in and we're seeing some good things. What is Knox at the end of the season? Because right now, if we were to trade for Beal, we're probably definitely put like Mitch, between Mitch and IQ, and Randle, at least obviously one is gone, and very possibly two of those would be gone. I don't think we would trade IQ for anything at this point.
Yeah.
We wouldn't want to, but we would be forced to give up something we don't want to give up to get
to get Lavine.
Beal.
Imagine it's draft night now. Knox finishes his year doing pretty well. Not good enough that you think he's a long-term answer, but good enough that another team is like, okay, Knox is actually a good piece now. Now maybe you're paying less. Maybe you're making the same kind of trade.
Yeah,
but you're paying a lot
that's
less.
right.
So
And that's
it's like,
that's the price of having multiple assets that are valuable, and that's why it's scary to think about trades like this right now, because we've hit goal with IQ, and we're looking okay with Mitch as well. But the really good teams who make trades like this, they have like 3 or 4 guys around that level, around that contract, where they can trade 1 or 2 of those guys and still have 2 of those in the stash, where it doesn't hurt them as much as it hurts us. Which is why when you're looking at these trades, it like turns your stomach a little bit to think like, man, this might not be the right time. Even though when am I going to get another shot at Zach Lavine, who's having his like an all-star year ish, even though he's the losing record, twice averaging 26, 27 points a game. When I'm going to have another shot at Bradley Beal. Like we haven't been in this position. We're not in a position yet, but you can kind of see within the next year or two where we actually would be in that position where we'll have multiple guys whose ceiling has risen, whose stock has rose, kind of like the GameStop, right? The stock has rose, and then we can actually make some moves and make a trade, and it'll kind of hurt, but not as much because we still have some other guys who can kind of do something to supplement that loss.
Exactly.
Yeah, for real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like we have 1 or maybe 2 in a position, so if we sacrifice that, it's like we have no cushion.
Right.
And so I think you said, I think we need to wait.
Yeah. And listen, that's like we said, that's the benefit of being a good franchise. You see, we are potentially in a position, like you guys are saying, where we can make that trade and legitimately have really good leftover pieces, right? Mm-hmm. So we got to see what happens. Listen, if Obi, and like, I'm not advocating for trading anyone before people start to kill me in the comments, but if I'm just being realistic. This is what the NBA is now. Leon is not here to just sit by and watch us be like fun 6 seed.
No, we have 17 million in cap space, first of all, coming into that we haven't even used yet.
Yeah.
When Steve Stout first came here, he was in it. Yo, we bringing somebody to New York. We changing the culture. Like, so if he's saying that and he's in the front office, that's the conversations that are happening at the top.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. They try to get Gordon Hayward. They didn't hesitate. They're like, yo, Gordon, come here. $3 million, 3 years, 72 million. They're like, it's not like we were just sitting by, like, whatever. So I'll say this with the team and whatever. If we end up with Obi, let's say Obi starts really killing it off the bench, becomes a solid contributor, and looks like he could take a step up, right? IQ keeps it up, obviously. Knox keeps it up. Even other guys who are not in the rotation. I mean, DSJ, you just said that G League thing. What if Frank comes back playing okay? What if guys play okay enough that now it's not just these negative assets, it's guys with a little bit more to show. Now when you make the trade, the team's, I like this Knox.
Yeah.
This Knox that ended up shooting 39% from 3 for the season is a guy I like. Not the one in January who looked okay, but we didn't see enough yet. Right. So I'm like, you gotta wait. I think this season is definitely a waiting season. No fans, chill.
Yeah. I'm gonna need Tom to help us a little bit too. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, like, because Frank didn't get in the game, but I think somebody said he was a little bit injured. But guys like Frank, where he started off good, kind of disappeared. Like, if he gets a situation to play, because he said he's going to be playing situationally. If he gets a situation to play, I want to see if any of that is real, so we can make a decision on Frank too. Like, should we keep him? Should we trade him? Like, I need to know, because this is last year of his contract, So yeah.
The thing with Frank and it's so crazy how things change in the NBA, because you go back, last year basically when the season ended. At that point, it actually looked like Frank, Mitch, and RJ were the three.
Was a nice little trio.
Guys who would stay. Frank was playing really well off the bench. Him and RJ had some chemistry going. Frank had that 2010 game. You saw him doing better.
Yeah.
But you gotta be healthy. I think that
healthy.
I think it's also like, I'm looking at the brace he's been wearing. Like, I've been seeing pictures of him with the knee brace before the game. I'm like, that don't even look like you could play. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, listen, it's a long season. DSJ just went to the G League. I commend that. I would say that Frank should do that as well. Frank is a weird player because he can play different positions. Maybe he ends up playing the 3. And if DSJ's gone, technically he's the third point guard at this point, in a way. So we'll see. But I respect DSJ for that move. That's what I say. That's a man's move.
Respect him, man.
That's a man's move to take a step back and say, you know what? I gotta reevaluate where things are.
That is a very grown man move, man. Yeah. Like, definitely gained my respect. Shout out to DSJ for kind of realizing the situation. Knowing you need the reps, you're not getting the minutes here. You have the talent, so if you can be groomed in the G League, get back to your form, beat up on some guys he's supposed to beat up on.
Yeah, exactly.
Get your bravado back. Sometimes when you playing your nephews, you're like, yeah, I'm nice. You get in the real game. You start, and it's just repetition at that point, and you souped up, and you can translate that to real game. So maybe that's what he needs. Hopefully it turns around for them, and we can either, I don't know what the options are. I don't know if he's gonna be gone by a deadline, because I don't even think he's played enough for teams are saying put him in a trade, because I can't imagine that. Or what his future is.
It kind of feels in a weird. I mean, I think Frank and DSJ will be throw-ins if we make any deal pretty easily. But the truth is, I could kind of see both of them just expiring now. And
I can see that too. I can see either way.
To be honest, I'm kind of seeing that maybe happening. But listen, team's good, right? It's good that Frank and DSJ is not as important as it was months ago.
Right, because we got it quickly. Yeah,
you got Immanuel, and that's quickly.
Adjusted it quickly. All right, I'm with it. Let's go.
I'm wondering how come people don't make that joke.
Oh no, it happens all the time, Edson. All the time. It's not.
I can't say the word quickly without being like, damn.
Of course, it's just way too easy.
Yeah, even Tom snickered.
Like his name, I mean, it's just he's got a name that you can run with that.
Even Tom snickered in interview was like quickly. And he did like a little snort laugh. I was like, oh, okay, Tom, you're having fun with it too. All right, cool. All right, man. That is our show, man. Longer talk than I expected, but it is what it is. When you hyped and you happy and you're Knicks fans, we win. We like to talk.
They know I like to talk, man. Listen, again, that's my line. Listen, I just gotta say, it's been refreshing, man, this year. Just even talking to people and just having this be positive, fun vibes. Yeah. All 2021, whether it's work, business, life, we be killing it. So it's good to. I'm glad the Knicks fans got some happy in their life right now. You know what I mean? It's been a crazy couple of years. So it's good to see some good basketball, man.
Facts. If Knicks make the play-in or the playoffs,
I might cry.
So
I might cry.
I'm gonna have some bars ready for that.
You gonna have bars ready? Let's go.
I'm gonna have it ready and then drop it.
Play your bars. Yo, have your own instrumental, because I'm gonna tell you, because I actually deleted your bars off of our Twitter because I was scared our thing was gonna get shut down because of
I get it,
I was like, man, this got shared like 300 times, but they just shut this other guy down for having music in the background, and they took away his Twitter page. I was like, it hurt. I was like, no.
What? Really? Oh my god.
Yeah, they hit you with that copyright quick.
No, listen, I've gotten hit with a copyright from my own song.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Oh yeah?
They're like, oh, this song is copyrighted. Yeah, no, I did it. That's why I'm using it.
The copyright game. The copyright game, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yes, yeah. So use your own instrumental so you can share.
No, I'm talking about for that one, I'm gonna have like a song. I'm not talking about no freestyle type. I'm creating something for that.
We're gonna have to call MSG. We're gonna need a new jingle. We're gonna need a playoff jingle.
Listen, bro.
That's what's up.
I'm ready. All right.
Yeah.
On that note, that is our show. You know where to find. You know what? Go ahead. Tell them when they find you on, Terry.
NYK Terry and Trill, me and Moms going at it. We are every game. We're doing post game, whether it's me or her, making sure we keep going with it. If you haven't seen the show before, usually we go to the Garden because we have season tickets. That's a big part of our show. We don't have it this season, but we're going strong. We can't wait to be back. I already told my ticket rep, if I see one soul at MSG before you tell us we can go, I'm going to be so tight.
Let them know.
I know. But you know what? In a funny way, too, I'm like, yo, let the kids rock without the fans. They come back next season.
Yeah, get that confidence up, get chest out. Yeah, you can mess up without any guilt or any pressure. No, I get you.
Exactly. So check out the show, guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for having me on, Jay Ellis, as always. Dope stuff.
Always love having you on. All right, Edson, Sean, let them know where to find you and all this.
You can find me everywhere at Edson Sean, EDSONSEAN. I am actually releasing a single on Love Day, February 14th, Valentine's Day, called Love Is, because love is the only thing that exists. It's either the presence of it or an absence of it. So look out for that, February 14th.
Let's go. Cool. All right. And you know where to find us too. Well, you can find me on Instagram at Jealous Draws Things, because I draw things. JELLIS Draws Things. You can also find us on the KOT Show on Twitter, Knick of Time Show on Instagram, and also on Facebook. All right. So definitely check that out. Also, you can sign our merch on the knickoftimeshow.com. Shout out to our writers. Our writers are killing it this season, man. KOT Writers Year, man. Shout out to Fritz, to Ken, to Rob, to Mikey, to Jeff. Shout out to the writers that are killing it, man. I think we hit like 7,000 views this month on the website. Let's go. Writers are killing it. So shout out to you guys. All right. On the knickoftimeshow.com. Definitely check out the vlogs there and check out the merch as well, man. Check out the Who's Mans Is This. Shout out to people who cop the Who's Mans Is This tees. Cop that. Yo, and cop my man Terry's NBA Jam joint too.
You can't do that. We ain't drop it yet. Oh,
okay. Don't cop it.
Don't cop it yet. I'm playing. Don't cop it yet. It's funny you said that. We're planning to do maybe a merch drop. Couple weeks. We got to see. Quickly merch. Gonna be going quickly. Yeah. I'm not gonna do it again.
You're not gonna do it. Yeah. I'm merch scheming in my mind too. I'm like, yeah. I already know I'm already losing right now. Cause I know people looking at the store like, where's the Quickley merch? Yeah. It's like I need a clone. I need more time. All right, cool. All right, guys, that's our show. We out of here.
Peace.
New York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.